This is something that I don't feel is talked about nearly enough out there, is that everyone says that they want more in life, but are we able to actually handle and tolerate the expansion?
Are we capable?
Are we
Are
capable
we capable?
of holding the amount of expansion
The amount of
that's
good.
required? This is The Becoming, a podcast about the sacred and powerful journey of awakening and becoming who you truly are.
We're your hosts, Kate and Judy Moon. As a mother-daughter duo with many years of experience in coaching and personal transformation and lifetimes of wisdom between us, together we explore what it truly means to come alive, living with deeper meaning and purpose, breaking generational chains, reclaiming freedom, and guiding the soul's return to wholeness.
Through soulful conversations about healing, transformation, and the power of MDMA-assisted therapy, along with raw, behind-the-scenes reflections and insights that illuminate the path forward, we invite you into a journey that's not just about healing your past. It's about breaking through the invisible barriers that have kept you stuck and finally stepping into the life you've always known you were meant for.
Whether you're in the middle of a heartbreak, an awakening, a breakdown, or a breakthrough, you're not alone. This is The Becoming.
Hello, and welcome back to The Becoming.
Welcome back.
So we are going to share a little bit of sort of like Italy part 2 today.
All things Italy.
All things Italy, like, the content of our lives is the curriculum of our
lives.
teaching.
Oh, you're right. Exactly.
So yeah, buckle up, Buttercup. We're going to be talking about Italy again. But specifically, we wanted to dive into some lessons that we have learned at a deeper level through this experience that we have been going through for like the last 6 months or so.
And so, Kate, when you're talking about goals are not just for getting, they're for growing.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about that on this podcast before.
And it's a great concept, isn't
Yes.
it? And it's an awakening is really what it is.
It's an awakening.
It's an awakening.
It's been an awakening for us.
It's an awakening. And in the best of ways. Because the truth of it is that we all really do want to grow. We want to grow beyond who we are today. We want to grow beyond the fears and the constructs and the self-doubts and whatever human beings experience in this life. We want to discard all that stuff because it
Right.
holds us back.
Yeah.
But what we found out is that you have a big enough goal and that you actually take action in the direction of it, and you can't do anything else but grow or turn back.
Absolutely. Collapse to the circumstances.
Definitely.
So what we shared on the last episode was all about the journey for us of actually making this decision to really go for this dream that has been a dream and a vision and in some ways a fantasy for the two of us for many years. Like the seeds were planted literally like over 30 years ago for this. Then it was maybe like 8 or 9 years ago that the real seed of like maybe we could do this together. Like maybe we could both go and like live in Italy.
Like, can you imagine that? Wouldn't that be cool?
And one of the things that I just really that we share with our clients all the time and we remind each other and we always laugh about is that, when someone is feeling frustrated with where they are and maybe their progress, it's like, could you perhaps be just judging too soon?
Yes.
And
you mean the fact that when what we desire is not happening as rapidly as we desire
and like as on demand as we would love.
And then we make a judgment about it like, well, I really suck at visioning.
Exactly.
At manifestation. But the truth of it is, I love that you said that, is could we be judging too soon, perhaps? Because this lifetime is a long trajectory.
Like life is really short, but life can also be really long.
It can, especially when you think about the seeds that we planted 30 years ago, Kate.
Yeah.
We didn't have any idea exactly.
Not not one idea that this could actually become our life.
There's no way we could have it at
No.
that time.
No.
So it makes you almost wonder, I mean, this is a bigger question here or whatever, but bigger consideration, but are our lives actually do we come into this lifetime with a specific purpose of what
Mm.
it is that we are here to do or be or become? And is there some energetic al
Orchestration
orchestration perhaps to support us in that growth?
that might be giving us the exact lessons, the exact challenges in order for us to grow.
Or the little, taps on the shoulder
Nudges of like,
with a 9-year-old, isn't
yeah,
Rome a beautiful place to
yeah,
fantasize about?
exactly.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I digress, but yeah.
So, this is something that I catch myself with a lot because you and I are also like we're pretty big dreamers. We're also big doers and
Mhm.
we like to move quickly.
We like the manifestation to happen
I
quickly.
don't know, are we the only
Are we the
ones?
only
I don't
ones?
know. Do
I
you
don't know.
relate? And so there
And
have been
sometimes it takes years.
sometimes it also maybe takes more than we thought that it was gonna take.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, the life force that's required and who we actually need to grow into and the identity that we need to shed from the past, the identity that we need to step
Who
into,
we need to become in the
who we need to
process.
become in the process.
So sometimes that becoming takes a bit,
It
doesn't
does.
it? Takes a minute.
It does. So when we made this decision back in, it was like October, November that we really decided to go for this big goal, this big dream of ours.
Well, it was over that glass of wine,
Yep.
which was maybe our last glass of wine at any rate.
And so then I came back to the US about a week after Jude's, and we again, because this was not our first rodeo. Like, in fact, this was I in the past had hired an attorney when I was
Mm.
like 24.
When you were
She
living there.
When I was living in
Mhm.
Italy, trying to and essentially helping me to figure out a path of how I could stay in Italy.
Yeah.
And the 2 paths were like, "Okay, well, you're honestly just not specialized enough. You're 24, you have an undergrad degree.
Honestly, you're just not that special.
You're just not that special. You can get married and you can, become an Italian citizen that way, or you can apply for another student visa. Like, that's your option.
And you would have needed to stay there and go to another university.
And
And
pay a little more money, and like, I wasn't clear that that was the path I
well, you didn't know
wanted.
if you even wanted
No,
that. Yeah.
exactly. So, I had hired attorney at that point, and then you and I, back in 2023 in Santa
Mhm.
Monica, we had
Yep.
hired
You're right.
another
Yes, yes.
attorney,
Yep.
because again, I'm not when I'm saying that, like, this was an idea that's been percolating for a long time, you and I do take action on
We
things.
do. We do.
So, we didn't just casually consider this, like, we really sought this out,
Yes, we did.
and so we had
Like,
hired
what could be a path
what could be a
for us?
path.
Could there be a path?
And so in 2023, we hired another attorney. You know, we took quite a lot of action steps towards all of that, and then
Mhm.
it just became clear that, like, the path that we had in front of us,
It
it
wasn't
wasn't gonna be
realistic.
the
It
thing.
wasn't gonna happen.
This is really what I want to share about this journey for me, is that as we always say, to the untrained eye, someone just casually looking in at this journey that we've been on,
Mhm.
they might say, "Oh, well, there wasn't really a clear visa path in the past, and then
And then there became
the
one.
Italian government opened up this digital nomad visa." Actually, it's true that at the beginning, when they opened it up, we still didn't qualify because it was for remote workers. So you had to be employed by someone else and just
You couldn't be
you couldn't
self-employed.
be self-employed.
Yeah.
And then they changed it to self-employed. And so like the path opened up and you guys just walk through the door. Simple as that. Like, bing, bam, boom, done.
Yeah. I mean, and yes, of course, a path appeared.
Yeah, we
However,
did walk a path.
we did walk a
That is a
path.
fact. We walked a path,
Yes.
Judes.
Yes, we did. We did walk it. We're still walking
We're
it.
still walking the path.
Okay.
However,
Yes. But there's more involved.
what I know in my bones, and
Mhm.
this is what I really want to share, is that if it weren't for the work that you and I have been doing
Mhm.
doggedly on ourselves for many, many
The
years.
internal work.
And then a lot of this journey work that we do with our clients, that
Yes.
we have been on this path ourselves
For the
to
last almost 2 years.
almost 2 years
Yeah.
to really expand
Mhm.
our capacity, our vessel, and also expand our capacity to tolerate uncertainty,
To expand our nervous
to
system,
expand our nervous system.
to be able to handle, to be able to be okay with uncertainty, to still feel safe with all the uncertainty
And expansion.
and expansion.
Like, this is something that I don't feel is talked about nearly enough out there, is that everyone says that they want more in life, but are we able to actually handle and tolerate the
Are
expansion?
we capable?
Are we
Are
capable
we capable?
of of holding the amount of expansion
The amount of
that's
good.
required? And I know that that sounds, we've talked about this before on the podcast, but I know it sounds weird to think like, well, what do you mean like tolerate good? Yeah, guys, like this is a real thing.
Yeah, because I mean everything comes down to our nervous system. And even too much good for a nervous system that is not used to, that's not wired for that kind of good, it's threatening. It's life threatening. It's a lot.
I mean, you think about it, like short circuits the system. It's literally like
It does.
like an electrical system that hasn't been wired very well, or it's wired for just a very small amount of electricity to go through it, and then it gets a big surge of energy and it short circuits. It's
It's
going to
kind of
burn
like
it out.
you know, you just, and I know that probably might sound odd to some of you. Why could you not handle that much good? Actually, there is a saying that if you were to win the lottery, or how's
Mhm.
it go? If you were to become
There's
a,
Jim Rohn.
yeah, Jim Rohn,
If you're given $1 million,
if you're given $1 million,
you better hurry up and become a millionaire.
yeah, if you win the lottery and you win $1 million, you better hurry up and become a millionaire, because it's not the identity of this person, perhaps, who has just won $1 million or $10 million, or and today $100 million
I mean, they might be like a $20,000 a year earner
earner
in their identity,
in
and
their,
then they're given $1 million, and
and like
you gotta up level to the $1 million
you've got to
identity.
you've got to be that $1 million identity
Yes.
to be able to handle and know actually how to live with it and what to do with all that money even.
So let me explain how I felt this for myself during this process. And I know we've talked about this, so I know
Mhm.
that this also relates to you, but I'll just speak about it from my experience. For me, having this vision of being able to actually live full time in Italy,
Mhm.
it has definitely been, it's been like a vision, it's been a fantasy, it's been a dream of mine for a very long time.
Mm.
Because also I lived there, I've had many, many friends that have walked this path. Like, I know the challenge of what it is to be a foreigner. I mean, everyone, like, likes to say that, "Oh, you're moving and you're gonna be like an expat." It's like, well, you're actually becoming an immigrant. Literally, like, the expat is the rich white version of white people version of becoming an immigrant, and but really, we are moving to another country, and we are becoming
And
immigrants,
we're always going to be foreigners.
and it's a privilege to do
It
this.
is a
This is not a
privilege.
right. Like, that's something that a lot of Americans can have a whole, like, sort of
Attitude
snotty
about.
attitude around, like, this is a privilege to be able to do this, and this is up
And it's
to
not going to fly to have that attitude.
right. And so this is up to the higher ups of the Italian consulate to decide, like, they are the border guard to decide, do you qualify? Like, this isn't, they're not giving you a visa because this is a dream. You're giving it to you because you're qualified for it, because you actually deserve it, because you have proven that you can sustain yourself in this particular way that you're presenting yourself.
And we now welcome you here.
Exactly.
But, you kind of have to follow the rules too.
Yeah, exactly. When we got back from Italy, we had previously researched in 2023, we had researched various attorneys, and there was someone in Florence that became highly recommended. And so we
Mhm.
reached out to him and we set an appointment, and we were like, it was like a month out. It was like torture to wait
Oh,
for
like
this attorney
chomping at
appointment.
the bit,
It's
because
like, we'd made like, okay, we're really going to go for this.
and it's like sitting there waiting.
waiting.
biting our nails, waiting for it to happen. So it was about a
It
month.
was about a month. So it
Yeah.
was December 12th was our consult with the attorney. We met with him, and a lot of this is that, like, so we knew that there was this digital nomad path
Mhm.
that had opened up. We didn't actually really, like, you can look on the consulate website and you can see what their requirements are, but I know that what they're looking for is much larger than what they're just going to write on the consulate website. So,
So we need to speak with an attorney and obviously an Italian attorney
yeah.
as like, so what's your take on this? What is really going to be required of us?
And let's share our business and our background,
Is
and
it a match?
is it a match? Like, are we actually going to be able to qualify? And
Yes.
what do we need to do?
Yeah.
The first marching orders that he gave us is, look,
We got the thumbs up.
so he's like, look, I think you
I
actually,
think you qualify.
I think you qualify. I think we can create a case,
We think you've got a good chance.
a good chance.
Yeah.
Your
Fingers crossed.
So your first marching orders is you have to go get an appointment at the consulate, which sounds like great. That's like no
Well,
problem. I'll just go get an appointment at the consulate.
So, okay,
No.
meanwhile, just pause for a sec here. We live in Santa Fe, New Mexico. The consulate is in Los Angeles.
Yes.
So we will physically need to get our bodies from Santa Fe to Los Angeles, which is not the worst thing in the whole
No.
wide world.
We lived there. Like,
Yeah,
that's
totally.
it's not hard, but it's not here.
It's inconvenient.
It's inconvenient. So again, in the world of Italy, nothing is straightforward, nothing is simple, and nothing is just like a one-shot deal. So we have to go get an appointment.
Welcome to Italy.
Welcome to Italy.
And we're doing this?
I know. We're
I know.
doing this voluntarily. We
like
wanted
crazy.
this. We
know.
do this a lot. We look at each
We're
other. We're like,
choosing this?
you know, we chose this, right? We needed to go get appointments. And we are, in fact, two individuals. Even though we are a family, we can't apply as a family.
So we have to apply individually. Yeah.
So separate appointments. If you've ever done this, you know that you go to the consulate website and every appointment is always taken. Always. There are no appointments, like, ever. You go to this, you create an account and you have to go to this website and you literally just sit there and you refresh the website like constantly.
So like maybe 3 to 4 to 6 times a day or 12.
Muffin, I was doing it I had it on my phone and computer and I just kept refresh. Well, and so this was for, and well, they say that they maybe open appointments at like midnight in Italy, like maybe like 1 or 2, which is 4 p.m. here. So I'd be like, along with everyone else in the world that knows this, I would be on at that exact time, refresh. And an appointment opened up for me. And it was like, then I have like a full panic attack. So my appointment was on February 2nd. And then we just have an appointment just for me. So this is early December. And now I have an appointment in early February. So then we needed to get you the appointment. And so then all hands on deck go to getting Jude's the appointment. And then suddenly, like, the page refreshes and it's like, you can make an appointment.
It's like, oh my God. It's
So your
kind of
appointment,
a scary moment.
it's scary when you suddenly.
Like, when is it?
So your appointment was then February 11th. So they're 9 days apart. So now that we have the appointment, now it's all like
Logistics and
all logistics.
all
What we had to do, and this is the part that I really want to underscore, because in hindsight, what I can really see is that over the years, I have had a bit of a complex that I am someone who is becoming successful.
in the process of.
I am someone who is becoming powerful, which is wonderful. Our podcast is called The Becoming. Because, of course, we are all in the process of becoming, but it was really interesting in hindsight to look back and think, I had this whole persona and my identity was that I'm just not arrived. I'm not there yet. I'm endeavoring to, I'm on my way, but I haven't actually arrived there yet.
And so, Kate, in order to arrive in Italy with a digital nomad visa, you have to embody the woman who has arrived.
Right.
Not the one in the process of.
So what
occurred?
What this whole process was, working with side by side with the attorney, was that we had to create an airtight case as to why we belong in Italy, that we fully qualify for this visa.
And that's what unfolded, Kate. Like, we were not aware that that's exactly what we were going to do, is create a case, but is what the process actually did for us.
And I remember getting the appointments and feeling so unbelievably unprepared. So at this point, we're like a little bit before Christmas, and it's
Mhm.
like, we don't, this is coming up in just weeks now.
Yeah,
Like, we
the
have what,
clock is
like 6 weeks, so like a little bit more. And we have to create this whole case. We have to put together this application, this whole file,
all these documents, tax returns, bank
which we went back
statements.
6 years,
Yep,
like personal statements,
business
business
statements.
statements. We
Yep.
had to put together our articles of incorporation.
Thank
Um,
goodness we incorporated in 2012.
I know. So again, like, you can only
Brilliant.
connect the dots looking
And
backwards.
that really served us, because what it proved to the consulate was that we had longevity. We were not just these two, mother-daughter that are coaches, and they just, "Oh, I wanna move to Italy,"
We
and
just get online and we just like
yeah.
do a few
No,
things,
no.
and
This is
no, this is
longevity.
this is
This is
many, many
many
years.
years of being in business.
So we had client invoices. And then there were a couple of other very technical things that were so crazy that we had to include, but talk about stepping out on faith. So one of them is that we had to bring
Yes.
a legal rental contract from Italy with us to the consulate. So we are bringing a rental contract saying that we are renting an apartment in Italy before we're even given the right to live in the country.
We had to have that
We
before.
had to bring that with us, or they would have rejected our
They would have rejected.
application.
And we had to have airplane tickets
Yep, like, we already booked
already booked.
booked our flights.
Flights are booked,
We
as if we're
booked
going.
health
Yep.
insurance. So all of this we had to do, like, and so this is such a demonstration to me of what it is, even if you don't feel confident, that you have to walk out on faith in full confidence, like, truly act as if it has already
Has already
occurred, like,
occurred.
that your success is guaranteed.
Yeah.
And I had a little sticky on my bedside table for those, like, 6, 7 weeks that said that. Start before you're ready, act as if your success is guaranteed, and I can't even tell you how many mornings I woke up and nights I went to bed and I was like, we're not prepared for this. I don't feel prepared.
Yeah.
I don't think we're ready."
See, this is the thing. Are we ever really ready?
No,
Because our identity has not crossed that threshold yet.
exactly.
And we have not become that person yet. So we have to start before you're ready and act as if your success is guaranteed. And so we had to put on those women, Kate. That's what we did every day. We reminded ourselves. We're not ready, but we've started, and we're acting as if it's guaranteed.
Totally.
And we embody those women, shaking in our boots a bit.
And again, just not feeling like, I don't feel like I'm ready, but I'm taking the steps anyway.
So this is just a clue for
Yeah.
all of you guys out there.
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
like, okay, so this is one of the things that's required, is you
And
start before you're ready. Would we ever be ready? No,
no, I'm never gonna
no,
feel ready, because actually feeling ready is it's a myth. You get ready in action. You don't feel it and then act. You
no,
literally take the action and
and
it
become
prepares
ready.
you.
Yeah.
So when we're saying that,
So that's why we don't feel like this is almost real. We've got 8 weeks and a day until we fly out. And are we ready? No, because we're still in the process of becoming ready. I mean,
exactly.
we're acting as if we're ready. We're taking steps every single day. We're announcing this to the world on this
Exactly. I
podcast.
know. And even that, I will say,
Yeah.
even making this announcement, like, leading up to these last few days, as I know that we have this on the calendar to record these today, like, it's felt kind of vulnerable.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh, like,
Well, just wait until we press the publish button.
I know, I
Then it's
know,
too late.
I know. But we have, at this point, we have movers booked. We have, like, the Airbnb for the 2 nights after we move out. Like, we have all these things that are lined up. We have flights, like,
We're gonna walk out of an empty house that we've just cleaned, and everything is gone, and we're gonna be in our car with Izzy and suitcases and get over to Airbnb and the next day we're gonna go to CarMax.
Well, first we're gonna go pick up a rental
That's
car.
right, exactly. First, this a big rental car that's gonna
Yeah.
be able to hold what h how many
We're
suitcases,
bringing
whatever.
6. We're bringing, like, the 2 carry-ons and then, like,
Yeah,
each bringing 2
yeah,
checked bags,
yeah.
yeah.
And then that next day, we're gonna go say goodbye to our car at
Yep.
CarMax, just have a rental, and then we drive the next day down to Albuquerque, and we're just gonna walk it out. I
And
mean,
we're not gonna probably feel prepared for most of these steps, but we're
no.
gonna do it anyway. We're gonna
Yeah.
do our best to do this with as much grace as
Mhm.
possible and
Yep.
much preparation, but I don't know that we will feel prepared until we're doing it.
Because, in my life, when I felt really prepared for something, it would have been something that I had already done before,
Exactly.
so I could actually really picture it and embody it. But I can't, I mean, I can kind of, like in my
Yeah, like,
imagination,
we've
kind of
flown,
exactly.
to Europe before.
But we've never flown with Izzy.
No, we have not.
And we've never flown with a one-way ticket.
That's true. I have. I
You
have,
have,
but
you
not with
have.
you,
Not with
not with
me,
Izzy.
not with Izzy. So, anyway, a lot of this is
Yeah.
it's new, so we are literally walking it out.
Yep. We recorded some of the journey in real time along the way, so
We
we will
did.
be sharing a video of that later this week once this podcast episode is released. We hire the attorney, we get the appointments, we start having, like, full-blown panic attacks every day, or at least I do,
Yeah.
and we are
Woo.
preparing all of our
Oh, I was having
documents.
full blown, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
but you were steering the you were the
Well,
steering.
I was doing the application
Exactly, yeah.
train. I printed out, like, literally thousands of pages worth of
I
documents to
mean,
bring to the consulate. I mean, we were, in fact, over-prepared. I would have preferred to be over-prepared because I also
totally.
know that they can say at any moment, like, "Oh, we don't like this document. Like, we're gonna throw it back to you. You have to you gotta come back."
And
And
even though we knew had a list of what we needed to bring, we didn't know who was gonna be on the other side of this, and we'd heard
yeah.
all kinds of horror stories, and of course, there are all these different consulates all over the country, New York and whatever, and they all are different, obviously, they have different human beings running it. We had heard, horror stories about them being rude, and here we are feeling, like, really little and like, "Oh my gosh, this is the you are my higher power."
Well, and that's
You're
a
gonna
scary
say
place to be of, like, that
yeah.
you surrender your power of, like, this thing that you wanna do and really what your entire future into the hands of someone
Someone
else.
else, absolutely. So
And
that
our
was
attorney had specifically he was
mhm,
wonderful, and he really he wanted us to have the strongest case, of
mhm.
course, and he worked to make sure that we knew what we needed to prepare to create the strongest case, and again, the case was about our success.
So we had to
Our
build a case
legitimacy,
of our
our
success.
success, our longevity,
It wasn't a case of our doubts and our fears along the way of all of that success,
and
Kate.
it's also not a case of a fantasy of why we love Italy.
No.
They don't care.
They could care
They don't
less.
care.
They want the hard fact numbers.
They do.
That's what they want, the qualification. Do you qualify? End of story.
Exactly. We got all of this prepared, and then my appointment was first, and instead of flying, I knew that we wanted to drive from Santa Fe because I knew, and I've done this actually before, like, I have gone to LA and
Once you get in LA, you need a car.
Right, but I've applied for a student visa in
Mhm.
Los Angeles at the
Years
consulate there
ago.
years ago when I was, like, 21. I got my 2nd visa there, and I remember I didn't bring something that they needed, and so they made me come back. So, like, I knew that if I'm gonna be in Los Angeles, you need a car to move around there. We thankfully have friends that we were able to see and to stay with when we were there. I don't wanna have a flight to catch, and then they say, "Oh, you need to come back tomorrow." I wanted to drive.
In an unpredictable situation, you wanted
A
as
way of,
much
like
predictability as you could
and, like, control and agency myself,
exactly,
yeah.
exactly.
So, what I decided to do is that I decided to go out twice. So, I drove myself out because I was like, "Jutes doesn't need to come and do this," and, like, we were gonna bring Izzy
A
for
and we're gonna stay the full week, but
right.
between appointments.
Yes.
And then we thought, "Okay, so this is gonna be a shit
No,
show
let's
with
not do
Izzy."
that, and, like,
No.
Izzy's not 100 her health is not 100%, and so she's gonna be in her environment at home, and then so I'll drive out and drive back first. And so
So
I
it's
had to go and do this all by myself, all by my
I know.
lonesome.
And so the drive is did it take you, what, 14 hours probably,
Yeah,
Kate? Yeah,
it's like a
about 14.
2.5 hour drive,
Yeah,
and then,
yeah,
you do
and
have to stop at some point.
and then you turn 'em back and come back.
Yeah, so I
So
was there
there's a lot.
for about 3 days. So I went to my appointment on February 2nd. The attorney had also prepared us. He said, "Look, a lot of the consular officers, they can be extremely rude, and they can ask really unpredictable questions." And so we had, like, mock interviews with him ahead of our
And but
interview,
not
and,
knowing at all what this consulate
like, what are they actually gonna ask
officer.
us?
Yeah.
My appointment was at I think it was at 8 in the morning. So I had left I was staying with a friend in Studio City. If you know Los Angeles, it's like a nightmare driving
You
around
you
into,
left
like,
it
rush hour traffic in the morning,
you left at, like, 6 a.m. or something, didn't
something
you?
like
Yeah.
that, and I went and I hung out at a coffee shop, and, like, I got myself prepared, and I'm, like, going through all
Well,
of my
and you put on
documents.
your nice blazer and, yeah,
I got all spiffied
all
up.
gussied up.
I got out of my yoga
Professional.
pants.
The professional look.
And I went into I was extremely nervous, like,
Mhm,
they're very I don't really get nervous in life a whole lot, I was really nervous.
mhm,
And I went in, and the officer was extremely kind. He was
mhm.
professional, he wasn't, maybe particularly,
He
we
was
weren't
not chatty.
besties, he wasn't chatty, but he was very kind, and he really didn't ask me almost anything, and
He's polite.
handed all of my documents over, and, he's looking at things, and he's starting to, like, shove things back under the partition, be like, "I don't need this, I don't need this," and we prepared all these extra things, like, we had prepared.
More proof of how amazing
Yeah.
we are.
We had, like, a cover letter that was also it was in English and Italian. We had all of our coaching certifications and work that we had done over the years with different mentors,
Yeah.
like, different trainings that we had done.
Mhm.
He takes one look at that, and
He
he's
passes it
hands it
back.
back.
Yeah.
And so anyway, he took the application, and that just means that they've, like, accepted the application
Mhm.
to review now.
Yes.
Doesn't mean that you've been accepted, and you also surrender your
I was gonna
passport.
say, and you gave your passport to him.
You can't have a cell phone in there. You can't bring any interlopers, so it's just
Mm-mm.
me.
Mhm.
Of course, I get downstairs, I call Jude's, like, freaking out, or maybe in
Ah!
the bathroom even,
I
like,
know,
"Oh my
no, it was
god."
in the past. It was like, "Oh my god, how was it?"
Then I came back to Santa Fe. We got Jude's application
All
completely
together,
ready.
and then the 3 of us
3 gals hopped back in that Subaru.
oh god, and poor Izzy in the back of the car for, like, those hours. But then we stayed with our dear friend. So, surprisingly, and I mean, not necessarily surprising, 'cause I had already known that Kate had had a decent experience. Like, she had a polite human on the other side of
Yeah.
this, and that she came out alive, still breathing,
Been smiling.
even smiling and encouraged, I think. Yep. But we had no idea who I was gonna get. But because she had that experience, I surprised myself that I was not as nervous as I thought I might be.
Yeah.
But I think it's because already had broken the ice basically.
Sure.
So, but I ended up actually getting the same dude.
Yeah.
I mentioned to him that my daughter had been there, and I could tell that he knew.
And I had told him that my mom was coming the next week. I even asked, I was like, "Any chance I can come in with her?" "No."
No, no,
"No,
no,
you
no,
cannot."
no, no, you cannot.
I was
Yeah,
like, "It doesn't
yeah,
hurt to
I know.
ask."
So, the 2 of us, as Kate said, we both walked in there alone, facing the whatever fire was we
Yeah.
needed to face, but it was, pretty much the experience that you had. The interesting thing is, though, is that he started passing me some things back that was like a tax return and, and bank statements, and I'm thinking, "Don't you need these? Don't you need these things?" And, he said, "Oh," he kinda have this, and he's going really fast. He's, going really fast with this stuff. Kinda said, "Well, if I need it, we'll get it later," something like that. I'm thinking, "Well, I'm not driving back here to hand this thing to you." But the truth of it is, what Kate and I both discussed when it was over was that they already had it's the same business, and they already
Yeah.
had that same
The
information, so
applications are, like, basically identical.
basically
Yeah, yeah.
identical. So, at any rate, so that was good, I ran down and said, you know,
I did it.
I did it, I did
Yeah.
it, I did it," and it wasn't so bad. So then we had a nice afternoon.
Yeah.
That afternoon, we did a little video, which was fun.
Yeah.
Went and got a nice cappuccino.
And as we headed back to Santa Fe, then it was just like, okay, so now like that part's over. And now we just
Now we
wait.
wait. And so here's
And
the
they don't communicate with you guys. It's not like, oh, okay, great. We got both applications.
and you're
Like,
going to hear from us, a week from Friday.
you have no idea.
They have literally 3 months to respond yes or no to us.
Yep.
And so we're just kind of like waiting on this.
And you leave self-addressed envelopes, like
Yes.
Priority Express envelopes with your application. So they put your passport back in an envelope
And they say,
and either it has a visa stamped inside of it or it doesn't.
or it doesn't.
Yeah.
So,
And our attorney also, he prepared us a lot. He was like, look, a lot of people get turned down the first time. And there's almost like a little bit of we're checking to see how serious you are.
and I can get that now
Yeah.
because all the steps that we had to take, Kate, we went out on faith.
Yes.
We had the rental, we had the tickets, we had the health insurance.
We had a 14-year business. We had all of the
all
documents
of those
for
things.
it,
Yeah.
tax returns and bank statements and all the things.
Yep. So we were kind of expecting maybe perhaps that, that we might have to go back again. I'm just walking down the street here. Yeah. And I just happened to walk by with Izzy and I thought, oh, I'll just check the mail. And I wasn't even thinking, honestly, but there was something that pulled me to that mailbox. And I opened it up and holy shit, there was that self-addressed envelope to me
With my handwriting
with
on it.
her handwriting on it. I run into the house and I'm like, oh my God. So, and that was just one. It was just
Yep.
to me.
I know.
And I'm thinking, okay.
And ours were 9 days apart. Yours was 9 days later.
Mine was
And then
9 days
your
later, and I get
envelope
mine
is back.
first. So at any rate, we opened it up.
I knew to go for the passport.
Kate-
I go straight for the passport.
Opened it up to see if it was stamped.
And holy shit, it's stamped.
It was stamped. And we're like, holy shit. So what is
in
this?
shock.
Like in shock. Like, what
Yeah.
does this mean? Like the first thing we're thinking of, like, so do we have to move in within these next 3 months?
Yeah.
We spent like a good long weekend waiting to talk to our attorney about what exactly the dates.
Like,
'cause
what do
we're
these dates
getting
mean
panicky.
now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're getting a little panicky, like, oh my God.
Because you do have to get into the country within a certain
You
period
do.
of time. And
You
it
can't
depends
just
on
say, oh, I'll go in, 6 months from now, or I'll go, you can't
it
just do that.
depends all on when it was
Yeah.
issued.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we had doctor's appointments and we had dentist appointments and we had all these
We
things.
have a life to wrap up,
We have
y'all.
a life to wrap up. So we had to wait for a long weekend to find out that
That we could wait a little bit longer.
could wait a little bit longer.
Than we feared. And then my envelope arrived 2
2
days later. Yeah.
So, we're
And it was like, again,
chomping at the
it's
bit.
kind of like, we sort of figured that it was going to
Oh,
be.
of course. Oh, I mean,
be a
I
visa,
couldn't
but like
imagine.
you just don't know until it's in hand.
I know.
Then starts the clock starts over, and then it's like, oh my God, now we actually have to do the thing. Like, so this has been so much
now
preparation.
Now we're actually going like, holy shit.
Holy shit.
What does this mean? What do we have to do? Are we really going?
Yeah.
And there's so many things. I mean, even to take a dog across the ocean.
And thankfully, we don't have to quarantine her. That's a question
No.
that everybody's asking.
No,
we don't have to quarantine her, thank God. But,
It's a rabies vaccination and it's a big health certificate that our vet has to do. And then it's sent to the
FDA
to
randomly.
exactly. And then,
Yeah.
then it has to come back, but it's a certain window of time within 10 days of travel. So it's like, is it going to come back in time? And
We're spinning all the plates.
and we don't know
Yeah.
because we're not there yet. Dentist appointments, doctor's appointments, saying goodbye to our sweet family in Durango,
Yep.
And friends and what's coming, what's not coming, what are we selling, what are we Salvation Arming? I don't know. Okay. I mean, and so every day we have a hefty list. And then of
Yeah.
course we still have our clients that we are doing journeys with in the
Of
midst of
course.
all of this, which
Yeah.
is
Well, and they're like always a priority. So like those things go on the calendar and those are like sacred. So
Yeah.
yeah.
totally.
And this is the thing that I just really want to underscore in this is that we're sharing the story because there's
It's complex.
it's complex. It's maybe interesting. It might be entertaining for some people. For some people, it might be you're taking notes because you're following in our footsteps. And you're like, what did they do? Rome or Italy is your dream too. But the thing to really underscore is this whole piece again around the becoming of
That's
who
really
we
the whole
had-
point of this podcast.
of
Is the truth.
who we had to become in this process, and that it looks like it's all for the outcome. It looks like it's for the destination of, oh, now we get to go and live in
Yeah.
Italy. But what we really know is like how much this journey, this process, this experience has grown us
Mhm.
is invaluable. And I really do look back on all of
Mhm.
this. And what I just know in my bones is that I would not be able to have
Mhm.
done this and been able to hold my center and to hold the vision and to take the action anyway in the face of all of the fear and the uncertainty and wondering, do we actually even qualify? Because again, this is what was so fascinating for me
Mhm.
is that over the years, like, so you and I, Jude, we've
Mhm.
done actually a lot in our life and in our business together. We have worked with so many clients. We've earned a really decent income
Yeah.
in the process.
Yeah.
You know, we're also part of a network marketing business where we grew a team of like
Mhm.
over
Lots of
10,000 people.
people.
And but in all of that, over the years, we sold millions and millions of dollars worth of products as a
Our
team
team
under us,
moved all
our
that
team.
product. I know.
And
And it did change people's lives, honestly. I mean, it's in the sense that the women that we worked with, their lives grew too because they were pushing the boundaries of their own
a
limitations.
million percent.
Yeah.
They've gone on to continue to grow and live their lives.
And we knew we needed to let go of that business. We say kind of had to burn it to the ground
Yeah.
because we knew that that was not our life's path. And then so we stepped out on faith, not knowing what that next step was going to look like, Kate, only to find, I don't know how many years later, the work that we're doing now with our journey work. I mean, so this is again, we're connecting the dots backwards. It's like you just never know where something is going to lead.
But the point I wanted to make about that is that I remember back in the day, I would do the math and I would calculate I would take it to you and be like, Judes, do you know how much we sold last year as a team? And I would give you like a million of like $13 million or so, I'd give you the number
Yeah.
and you would always be like, I don't care. It doesn't really mean anything. I relate to this
Mm,
because so much of it was like, well, we didn't get to the top rank, so none
right.
of it
None
matters.
of it matters because we didn't reach that top pinnacle that we thought we wanted.
So we're not there. So again,
It's meaningless.
I'm a woman who's becoming successful. I'm
Right.
becoming powerful. I'll get there eventually instead of being able to actually see myself clearly for the things that I had done
Mhm.
and the accomplishments that I had under my belt.
Mhm.
And
Really own it.
this is what the gift for me in this process of this visa application has
Mhm.
been is how much it's grown me because in the process, ironically, of creating a case to present in front of the tribunal of the Italian consulate of like, yeah, we are successful and here's all of this proof. It adjusted my own self-image. It adjusted my own identity. And this is the part, again, on the outside, people are going to look at this and be like, well, what, it's not that big of a deal. It's a digital nomad visa. Other people apply, they get it, they
But
move.
Kate, it
They
means
walk through the
something
doorstep.
very
They walk through the door.
exactly, but it
But
means
that's
something so significantly more than that for
for
you
me.
because you know from inside yourself the changes. And I have had a very similar experience as you have.
No.
And I have really at times I think I have minimized as just, "Oh,
Oh,
what'd you say?"
oh,
Myself, that thinking like somehow there's perfection on one side, and I haven't quite met those standards,
right.
and therefore, I didn't see myself as
The rest of it's just
oh,
meaningless.
exactly, just meaningless. But what this has done for me is actually go back and look at my whole life about how much in so many circumstances I have been a friggin' badass, and I didn't even know it.
We can't see our own selves clearly.
Yeah, and then all of this, Kate, what we had to do was build this vessel, this container to hold our badassery about
Mm.
like because we had all the paperwork in front of us.
Here's
We
proof.
we couldn't
Check
deny
it
it.
out. We ticked all the boxes
It's
even.
right there. It's so like I can't deny it. And so
Yeah.
just recognize all of us, we diminish ourselves. we often don't see ourselves properly about who we really are and what we're capable of.
Exactly.
So this was we literally had to have the paperwork sitting right here in front of our face to
Yeah.
actually own it.
Yeah.
So I just,
Well, and then that receiving the visa was like the confirmation. It was
it
like,
was.
"Oh my gosh, we really did this thing.
And we really did it.
We really did it."
We did it. Like, we did it on our own, and this was our own business, something that we created ourselves. Nobody else created for us.
No, no one else did.
Like, it wasn't a job I worked for and I got a promotion.
No one else can do our push-ups for us. No one else can walk through the door of the consulate for us. There are certain things that we have to do on our own, and, like, we gotta build the spiritual muscle to be able to become that.
And to hold it and then continue to grow ourselves. Because Lord knows we have a lot of growth that's gonna be happening because there's a lot of uncertainty ahead,
Buckle your
and
seatbelt.
we are gonna be living in a different country with a different language. I thank goodness that you do speak Italian.
That I spoke it 15
You
years
spoke
ago.
it 15 you spoke
It
it
is
15
rusty,
I
but
know, but
it'll come
yeah.
back. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot that we're gonna learn
Yeah.
about ourselves.
But this is why we wanted to bring this here, because this whole piece around, can we actually see ourselves clearly? Can we honor the things that we have done without diminishing them, without downplaying them? I think most of us as women, we do that. And actually, the next version of our life really requires that we see ourselves properly and that we continue to grow the vessel and that we are willing to let go of old identities that aren't serving us anymore.
Well, and that we might need to actually make a case for why we are the badasses that we are. Because the world is not necessarily
No
a
one
lot
else is going to give it to us.
exactly, that we have to give it to ourselves. And
And
it
that's
doesn't hold, it doesn't stick. Yeah, it's great when we get, acclaimed
Yeah.
by someone outside of us. Someone said, "Oh my gosh, you're so amazing," and this and that, and or our parents really honor us, or a partner or friend,
Totally.
whatever. But it only really sticks when we own it and can see it. It's not just owning it in our heads, but we can feel it and own it. It's inside of us. We've lived
Absolutely.
it.
No one else can do it for us if we don't see it in ourselves to begin
No,
with.
no.
People we have clients that deal with this all the time that they've been showered with praise and accolades and appreciation from the outside, but if they don't hold it, if they don't have their center with it, then they can never let it in.
Or the opposite, they have not been held with, praise,
Yeah, true.
since a child or whatever. Is that really their identity
Right.
based on somebody else's
Lack
opinion
of
or lack of
Yeah,
ability to be able to extend that kind of love and connection with another human? So does that make them really who it is? No,
no.
it doesn't.
It always has to come
We have
from
to
within.
build it ourselves. We
We
have to
do.
know it ourselves.
Yeah.
And that's a whole other
Yeah.
conversation. So we'll do another
Yeah.
we'll do a episode on that, Kate.
Yeah.
So stay tuned. You guys are all coming to Italy with
You're
us.
coming to Italy with us. Hop in on that Delta flight and fly over to Italy with us. Yeah, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you, and we appreciate you being on this journey with us.
We absolutely do. And we appreciate that you are on your own journey and you have everything within you. You do. You are fully capable to live the dreams that you want to live. Go forth and conquer.
We'll see you in the next episode.
Okay. Ciao.
Ciao for now.
Thank you so much for listening to The Becoming.
We'd love for you to join our growing community. Please subscribe to the podcast, share this episode with a friend, and leave a 5-star review.
It truly means the world to us and helps others to find their way here too. We'll see you in the next episode.